So why SVG? First off, if you're not sure what SVG stands for, it's Scalable Vector Graphics. So a big part of the appeal is that it's vector. If you're not familiar with vector versus raster, or the different types of image formats, you might want to check out the other video first, because I'm kind of assuming you know already. So there are four main reasons I'm going to cover. First off, it's editable in plain text. It was created for the web. It has an efficient file size, and it can be interactive. So editable in plain text. This is what SVG code looks like. Now there can be some more complex stuff depending on what you're doing, but it's basically very similar to markup. It's similar to HTML, and there's a reason for that we'll get to in a moment. Now the other thing is SVG is open. So you can edit it in plain text because it is an open format. It's not proprietary like Adobe's AI format or like the Autodesk format. And there aren't a whole lot of vector-based formats out there anyway, so there's only a few, and this one happens to be open, which allows you to edit it in plain text. It was directly created for the web, and this is why it looks quite a bit like HTML, because it was made by the same group that helped not start HTML, but helped guide HTML as it continued to develop from the original version released in the early 90s to the present. That being said, that also means that it works really well with the web too, so you can actually use SVG graphics on websites. And that means you already have an SVG loader built into your computer. Basic web browsers can load SVG graphics because it's one of the languages for the web itself. The file size is pretty efficient. Now, I didn't include on here like Adobe or AutoCAD's proprietary formats, but you can see here that SVG is significantly smaller than three other formats that you typically see on the web. Although EPS isn't quite seen on the web because web browsers don't load it, but if you're downloading vector graphics from stock sites, you'll typically have them available to you in EPS format. Also, SVG can be interactive. Because it was designed for the web, it can interact with HTML and JavaScript and CSS, which can allow you to do some pretty cool and engaging things. So hopefully that gives you some decent perspective on why you might choose SVG over other formats. I hope you'll join me for the next video where we will actually set up a text editor so we can create some SVG graphics.